sort of fear, I'm going to share with you that I have an irrational phobia. And I intentionally use the word irrational so that you know that I know that there is no basis in logic for this fear. The mind knows, but the body do what it do. And my body exited a moving vehicle because of this fear. And I was the 35-year-old driver. And I had a passenger who I loved very much. And as I was doing my whirling, twirling dance of doom in the middle of the road, every revolution I caught sight of my Jeep Cherokee rolling toward the intersection and my mom frantically trying to get her leg over the console to apply the brake. Now I'm going to leave you with that image because I need to back up and go back to the beginning, because I sort of dove right into the middle there. And while we want your stories to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, you get to decide what order you tell them in. It's your story. Anywho, the origin of my fear, I don't quite recall. But my older sisters and brothers and cousins always looked vaguely uncomfortable and a little guilty when it manifested itself at family gatherings. I think they used this to keep me from pestering them when they were trying to be cool. You ready? Daddy long legs. Or as we call them in Georgia, granddaddy long legs. And see, that's why I had to start in the middle. You all look surprised at that. I assure you, this is a real fear. For those of you who know, I am an avid gardener, and I spend 3 seasons out of the year fully immersed in my garden. This fear is so real that as a self-conscious teenager, I once ripped my shirt off in front of my family and friends. 8 buttons went flying, and I went streaking. And as a younger child, don't even get me started on the nightmares of when my mother unwittingly forced me to take a bath with the severed leg of a daddy long leg that she had killed earlier that day above the bathtub. Why did their legs come off so easily? I was so traumatized and crying so hard that I could never explain to her why I was so scared. Speaking of mom, so what happened was this. We took a load of trash to the dump. And I should tell you, this was the height of daddy long leg season. There are 2, the spring emergent season and the fall mating season. I keep track of this. And it was spring, and I had just thrown the trash in, gotten back in the car, we're on the road, and I feel this light tapping on my neck. I don't look in the mirror. I say, Mom, is there something on me? Do you see anything? Now, Mom made a choice. She could have said, swatting it forcefully to the back of the vehicle, just a hair. I gave her space to do that. I wanted her to do that. She did not do that. Instead, her face took on that knowing look. And I tapped the brake, unbuckled my seatbelt, opened the door, and jumped out. And I heard her giggling as she rolled. As my twirling slowed, I began to do what I always did. I looked for the body. The dance always had to end with a carcass. And I didn't see one. It was still in the car, which Mom had fortunately stopped a bit before the intersection. So I trudged up to the car and I said, do you see it? And she said, no, I'm sure it's gone. Just get in the car. And I was like, you know that's not how this works. I will kill us both before I get home. And so we began to look for it, and I had a sense about this, and before long I found it in the floorboard of the driver's side, and I pointed at it and looked for a rock to kill it. When my mom picked up my favorite stainless steel coffee mug and splattered it. And then held the mug out for me to take. And I could see a severed leg, still wiggling, stuck to the bottom of it. And I threw the mug to the side of the road, mumbled an apology to the universe for littering, got in the car, and drove home. And it was a quiet trip home, with the exception of my mom's sort of spasmodic bouts of laughter and my intermittent, involuntary vocal shudders. But the thing is about that, Peter, I am an avid gardener. I'm an avid outdoor enthusiast. I have had, and I'm an evolved human being, and I believe that living things have a right to live. So it means that I've had to come up with some coping mechanisms in order to not freak out on the regular and still live my life doing what I want to do. And I find that wearing heavy gloves is one of those things that allow me to get out into the garden. Also doing thorough risk analysis of any plant that I'm going to come into contact with. But probably at least 3 or 4 times every gardening season, I trot up to Marnie, my partner, and I say, "Do you see anything on me?" And for 24 years, except for one time, the first time, her face has always been kind as she swats at me and says, "Just a hair."